Oh, hey there. Hello. What's going on? Oh, me? Yeah, just hanging out. Just just recording another episode of Craving Some Raven. Yeah, yeah, me too. Yeah. So, are you fucking kidding me? God damn it. So I had recorded like 15 minutes past this, and apparently it just nope, not today, motherfucker. Oh, wow. So I guess I'll just redo everything. That's awesome. Just awesome. So before I get into everything, I guess I'll just reread my sponsor. It's a pretty good one. Not as good as some of my other ones, but it's a pretty big get. A lot of money involved here. So, today's episode is brought to you by Chick-fil-A. Do you love Jesus and hate the gays? Then come down to your local Chick-fil-A, but not on Sunday. There's no room for our chicken on the Lord's Day. Make sure you come in throughout all of April. We're having a special promotion where there will be a priest in each and every playpen to take pictures with your kids. So come in and experience the excellent services your local Chick-fil-A has to offer. Remember, if you hate the gays, then enjoy some Chick-fil-A's. Alright. Weird that they approved me to read that? And they gave me money for it? So the priest is hanging with the kids, and they specifically called it a playpen. Wow. Just wow. Some fucking Polynesian sauce, that's what that is. So, I think I'm just gonna get right into it. So, when I was looking at these guys, at all these running backs, I'm trying to do this for the Ravens, so everything has to be tailored. Does this guy mesh well with Lamar Jackson and where this offense is going? We haven't seen what it's going to be like under Greg Roman, but it's pretty safe to say that it's going to be run heavy, and they're going to do a lot of those zone read kind of runs. Sorry, I'm enjoying beer, and burps happen. So, a lot of what I looked for is the type of way that they made people miss, and or how they ran through people, because there's different styles to each. I'm going to do my best to describe what they look like. You can always look at them and see what I'm seeing, because it's kind of hard, because they're all a little bit different. Styles are just different, man. And one thing I want to take note is my list is definitely a lot different from other people's. Just looking at it, it's a lot of the same names, but I have them in different order. And I'm going to go from 1 to 10. I'm going to count up like you're supposed to. This isn't a bomb. I'm not counting down. This is just numbers, top running backs for the Ravens. Because honestly, I'm going to, before I say the next guy, I'm going to load up their tape just to one last look. I honestly might change my mind, but you won't know because it'll be paused. It's like time travel. Amazing. So, man, I'm hungry for Chick-fil-A. Damn, those ads work. Wow. My butthole feels weird. Anyways, must be the chicken or something. Some call it cock, but yeah, what are you going to do? Priests are crazy. Praise up. So, what I was... just dead air time. One of these things I kept hearing on these top 10 lists was oh, he's got too many carries. What? That's so dumb. That is so dumb. Yeah, maybe 10 years down the line, his knees won't work as well, but 4 years, a rookie contract, he's going to be full tilt. And if he wasn't going to be good for 7 years into his second contract, he just wasn't ever going to be that. Having 2 less years in college doesn't mean 2 extra years in the NFL. That's not the way it works. Yeah, I even looked it up when I was recording last time because I was like, hey, well, how many guys on a second contract had any sort of success, or at least on a maybe their third contract, like Adrian Peterson. He was the only one. The only one. I think I also saw Lamar Miller. I just didn't know if he's on a second contract. I failed to look it up because, fuck it. So really, like, unless these guys are elite, you're only going to get them for 4 years no matter what. It's just the way the position works. There's always someone younger, faster, stronger, hungrier, just better. It's just the way it is, man. It's the way of life, especially the way of the running back. So, without further ado, my number one running back is Damian Harris out of Alabama. Now, highly debated because everyone has Josh Jacobs as their number one, even though he was behind him on the depth chart. Yeah, exactly. I hear you. It makes no sense to me either. And the things I like about him, well, first off, 5'10", 196. He looks bigger than that. But, looks can be deceiving. So he's the number one running back at Alabama. So he should automatically be somewhere in someone's top five, no matter what year. If the running back is the number one at Alabama, that means he beat out the competition at Alabama, including Josh Jacobs, who, for whatever reason, everyone has higher. I'll get into him because he's on my list, but he's not number one. And a thing I like about Damian Harris is he looks, every single play, he looks like he's full tilt. Like he like a lot of guys, sometimes they're so athletic, they just look smooth, like butter. But Damian Harris, he looks like someone who's trying to get a job. He looks like someone who's about to get cut, like the way he runs. And his kind of running style, he's got like a bruising, light buffalo. I don't know, like he's like a lot of his successful runs, he takes two small cuts, and then he's down the field in a hurry. Gets up to top speed, and he's either gone or he'll get caught. He will get caught sometimes, but there's not many running backs who, especially when they get to the NFL, who are going to outrun a corner or a safety. They're just too fast in the NFL. That's just the way it is. And his tape going up against the best competition, also having some of the best O-line, but I'm not going to hold that against him. In fact, the way, like I used to view running backs when they would have success with a huge hole and be like, oh, well, that's never going to carry over. Not necessarily. I think especially with the Ravens, the way they kind of run the ball and the way Lamar can disguise stuff, he creates holes. So if they're successful running through holes in college, then they'll be successful running through holes in the NFL. It's that when there's no hole, how you gonna get the troll gold? Anyways, what is that from? That's from something. But that's usually, it's like, oh, well, how do they do when there's terrible blocking? Most running backs, they do terrible, and you end up watching the tape, you're like, oh, wow, all these guys suck, except for, like, the number one guy. But Damian Harris, I like him. I like his effort. I like his style. He's like a number one running back. He can do it. He'd do it in the passing game, do it in the running game. He had lots of production at Alabama, once again, against the top defensive schools, SEC talent. So if you can do it, against them, have success, you are going to transfer into the NFL and be successful. So, one sec, I gotta drink some beer. Football, baby. So, number 2 on my list, David Montgomery out of Iowa State. He stands in at 5'11", 219. So he's actually taller and bigger than my number one guy. and more elusive. But he's not that bulldozing type of guy. Guys bounce off of him, but that's because he's so shifty, and they had been seeing him throughout the whole game, and they're like, okay, I can't just like try to dive at this guy. I gotta try to wrap him up, but that causes people to bounce off. He's got like this move. It's not quite a jump cut, and it's not quite a cut. It's as quick as a cut, but it's almost as far as like a jump cut. Like with Damian Harris, he has those two short little cuts, and it's like bang bang gone. With him, it's like he stops, bang. It's slightly slower than just a small little 1 foot cut, but he gets like almost a jump cut's worth of yardage. Like, it's kind of crazy how often he'll just stop in a hole, stop on one leg, and just bounce it, and then bounce off another guy, and it's like, damn, who the hell is this guy? Just his ability to make people miss is incredible. And he actually is, I believe, the leader of missed tackles. Not, yeah, that's just a stat. I don't know how you phrase it. Is it missed tackle, causing of missed tackles? Because he's not a linebacker. He's not just missing tackles. He's not the worst linebacker in the league. No. He's the most elusive running back in the league, and he is a number one type guy. He does it in the passing game, does it in the running game. Modern NFL number one running back. Most teams are going by committee, but my top two guys are number one running backs. I think they're they're kind of the only ones. There's like one other here that I think probably be like a number one guy, not like a rotation guy, but could be the bell cow. So, that's David Montgomery. Number 3 on my list, Darrell Henderson, out of Memphis. Now, a lot of people have him a little bit lower. In fact, most people do. Probably about as low as his height. He's 5'9", 200 pounds. But this guy is elite, game-breaking talent. He will go and take it 30 yards down the field in a blink of an eye, and no one saw it coming. And, except for teams facing him, because he did it in 2017. He did it. He averaged 9 yards a carry, or like around 9 yards a carry, which is fucking impressive. So you'd think 2018 people are going to wise up. They're going to be like, oh, this guy's obviously number one. We'll adjust. No, he still got over 9 yards a carry in 2018 too. So when people knew he was coming at him, he still produced. And it's one of those things, like if he has a small seam, he's taking off and he's going. He's kind of like one cut guy. He's not a 2-cut like Damian Harris, where he's got a little leeway before he takes off. Darrell Henderson, he's kind of like a 1-cut and go. And his style benefits from an offensive line that can generate holes quickly, like I believe the Ravens will do and should do with Lamar Jackson. The way they use him in the running game, it just opens up holes because people don't want to over pursue, so they kind of stay home, and our linemen can kind of push him out of the way, and then boom, if you had Darrell Henderson, he's gone. He gone. Kind of like the Ravens, they have the Lance Turner. I know he got injured, and he was a unrestricted, or not unrestricted. He was a rookie free agent, and they brought him up before they brought up Gus Edwards. They brought up Delance Turner because Delance Turner, he had that huge play ability. He had he'll get like 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards, and then boom, 60 yards. And that's what you're getting with Darrell Henderson. And I just think that style will complement so well with what the Ravens are doing. I was thinking about putting him higher up on the list, but I just couldn't feasibly put him above David Montgomery or Damian Harris. So I have him at number 3, and I think, I think someone's gonna fall in love with him in the draft and pick him in the second round. I really do. In fact, for like a lot of these guys, I think it's I think the run on running backs, because everyone thinks, oh, they're going to fall to the fourth round, they're going to fall to the fourth round. No, no, no. I think there's going to be a run on running backs between like the second and third round. So end of the second, beginning of the third, there's going to be like 4 or 5 running backs taken, I believe, because I think, between him and some of these other guys, they're like specific type of players. So if they fit your offense, which I think Darrell Henderson would fit the Ravens. If they got him in the second round, like if we traded back and then got like a late second round or early third round pick, and we used it on him, I'd be totally okay with that. Right around that like number 50. Right around number 50 draft pick. So yeah, with him, let's see, what else did I have to say? Yeah, just the ultimate big play guy, and I think out of all of the guys, he is the perfect complement for the Ravens. Like out of everybody on my list, um, he did play at Memphis, so his competition isn't all that great. That's the negative. But I think his skill set is going to translate to the next level. His speed and elusiveness is just some next level shit. See you. On to my number 4 guy. Now this is where my Ravens fans are like, where's Josh Jacobs? Here he is, number 4. You know what? Should I have him higher? No, I don't think he should. I hope the Ravens do not draft him. I got a pretty specific theory as to why. All right, first of all, I'm going to say I love his running style. I love watching him run, the way he likes to take people's heads off, and how shifty he is and how he's using the passing game. But I don't think the Ravens. He looks like we already got a guy like that. He's like if Ty Montgomery wanted to take people's heads off. That's the way he runs. That's the way it is. The way he catches the ball out of the backfield, like even the way they run, it looks pretty similar. It's just at the end of the run, Josh Jacobs is going to take your head off. And it seems like a positive, but that's specifically why I have him number 4 and why I don't have one, or why I don't want the Ravens to draft him. Now, this is a super specific prediction / theory, but I'm just gonna get into it. So, I think in the NFL, like what he does in the college game, at the end of a run, he's gonna smack someone in the head. He's gonna just smack someone and get in their face. They're, him and the probably gonna be a safety. They're gonna get up. They're gonna jaw at each other. And the way it's gonna be is Josh Jacobs is gonna be running outside, and then he's gonna cut in and try to like smash the safety in the head on the end. He's gonna get the best of him. Yeah, Josh Jacobs, he's gonna win that battle. But my dude, this safety's gonna remember, and he's gonna say, "Okay, you want to hit me? Okay." And I think later on in that same game, he's gonna get knocked the fuck out. Like he's gonna mess with the wrong dude. And why specifically the Ravens is because they play a guy called Jabril Peppers twice a year. Now, he's a fucking huge missile. All last year, I was seeing him take people's heads off. So I think Josh Jacobs, he's like, yeah, I'm the rookie. Yeah, I'm going to prove myself. He's going to... Him and Jabril Peppers are eventually going to meet in the hole. And I think Jabril Peppers are going to get the best of him. Knock some sense into him, so much so that he's never going to be the same again. Like, I think he will get knocked out. And I think he's going to have the yips after that. And that's, using these phantom theories isn't the way you should grade players, but that's just what I see happening. I like my wide receivers to be divas and exciting and, get up and yell and jaw at the other players. Not the running back. I want the running back to just go about business. That's why I like Gus Edwards. Just quiet, gets up, hands the ball to the referee, goes about his day like nothing ever happened. But with Josh Jacobs, he's trying to kill people too much. And I honestly believe he's going to try to take the wrong head off, and someone's going to end up taking his head off, and he'll be useless after that. So, it's a very unique, very specific theory, especially when you add Jabril Peppers into it. But, like a lot of these, it reminds me of, what's that guy? Leonard Fournette. He did the same thing. He called some dude out on the Steelers. Obviously, not even the biggest guy, not even a missile, but he called him out, and I don't, I don't think he got knocked out. I think he got a concussion, but he just hasn't been the same since those first few games his rookie year. He just hasn't. And I think it's that yip factor. He got the yips because he's used to just being the bigger, more physical guy and imposing his will. And then finally, someone came up and was like, "No, dude, fuck you, bro. I'm the big dog on campus. I gotta feed my family. I play defense, bro. I don't hold the ball. I'm here to murder you." Anyways, so that's why I have him at number 4. And so coming in at number 5. I have Devin Singletary. So he went to Florida Atlantic. He stands in at 5'9", 200 pounds. And the way I like him, because he, every time they played a big school, he balled out. Actually, first of all, his elusiveness, his shiftiness, it's a different kind of juke move. He kind of has like a stop stutter and then keep running, like where he'll like stop for a second. It's almost identical to the way Lamar Jackson does it. It's just not as animated because he's a little bit thicker. Where he runs up, he'll kind of like stop, head back, and then keep going, like kind of he just like stutters. It looks like he's glitching out there, like he's just glitching out there, and he's doing it up against smaller competition, but whenever he played bigger schools, he balled out. Trying to think of the game. Let's see, who was it? One sec, I'm looking. Yeah, so like versus UCF and Oklahoma, he balled out. He looked like the best player on the team. He's juking people out of their shoes, and it's because David Montgomery, I think is the most elusive. He's got like bigger kind of jukes, like he goes further with each juke. But Devin Singletary, he's like that stay in one spot and juke you. So you see the defender, they're like, whoa, what are they doing? Like he just kind of like, oh, what? And then just moves the wrong way, and you're like, oh, you fucking idiot. And then you're just like, damn, who is that guy? It's like, oh, Devin Singletary. Now, I don't know if there's any relation to as the coach. I don't know if there's any relation. I haven't heard anything. I feel like I would have. So he's my number 5 guy. He's not quite a number 1. I think elusiveness will match well with Lamar. I think the best match for Lamar is that bruiser. Then it comes the home run hitter. Then you just double up on shiftiness, because now the defense, they got to deal with 2 people who are shifty, and when he does that, like when he's reaching way in there with the ball, when Lamar is, and he's got the ball for like way too long, you're like, okay, who's got the ball? Is someone going to take it? That's when the defense just freezes, and then either of them just take off and run past everybody, and then throw a quick juke on them, really juke them out of their shoes. And then bye-bye. I think the running game this year is going to be huge, and I think we're going to have to grab at least one running back. I think, I don't know if we want to reach. I think it'd be better, like our early draft picks be spent on a O lineman to kind of help the existing running backs. But I think if you get any one of these guys on my list, some of them I think will be down in the 3rd, 4th round. I think you should go ahead and grab really any one of these guys. So So next on my list at number 6, I have Travion Williams out of Texas A&M. And he's one of those guys where a lot of his production came late in the year. And so he's just putting up good tape as the year went on. He stands in at 5'9", 200 pounds. He's great when he gets a full head of steam going. And he was used a lot in the screen game, very successful. So he's the kind of guy where you get him out in space and he's going to go make something happen. He looks pretty bulky when you watch him play, and just super tough to bring down. Like a lot of times when he gets hit, it almost looks slow mo how he just keeps his balance. It's kind of weird looking. All around, just a really good running back. Other than that, he just good production at Texas A&M. Maybe I should have had him lower on the list just because nothing really stands out. Like a lot of these guys, there's something when you watch them, it's like, oh wow, like you're watching, you just star something. With him, he's just all around a great running back. So with that, I'm just gonna move on to my number 7 guy, who I have Justice Hill out of OSU. I believe it's OSU. Yeah, Oklahoma State, orange and black. He's 5'10", 190. I thought he was smaller. I don't know if these measurables are right, because he's definitely the smallest guy on my list, at least looking at him. But he's ultra shifty. But in a kind of different way than all the other guys that I've put on here. It's different from David Montgomery, who's got, the start, stop, kind of the still stutter. And then David Montgomery, he's just got just juke you out of your socks, cutting and all that crazy stuff. But Justice Hill, he's speed, agility, very fast and able to cut around you, bounces it outside a lot. I think he'd just be a great compliment. Just add that speed and agility with Lamar. I think it'd just be awesome. I think our offensive line is pretty tall, so this guy, I think he would end up getting lost kind of, and end up just bouncing out, end up you've seen those runs before where it's where'd the ball carrier go, and then all of a sudden you're just boom 10 yards downfield. I think he's that kind of guy. Very, very electric to watch in that offense. It may seem small, but he still goes through people. It doesn't look like his size actually affects him. So, with that said, I'm going to go to number 8 now, where I have Miles Sanders out of Penn State. Now, this guy, he was a late addition to my list, and, looking at him again, I think I probably should have had him higher. Maybe, number 6, replace him and Travion Williams. Literally just reverse, so put him at 6, Travion at 8. But Miles Sanders out of Penn State, he reminds me of Saquon Barkley, same school. Weird. They literally look identical, other than the fact that he just doesn't have that top end speed. Where Saquon Barkley he'll be gone. He'll Saquon say gone. This guy, he just gets caught. But their running styles, very similar. It's almost like they had the same coaches. And their body types, it's almost like they hit the same weight room. It's kind of weird. So I think he's only going to rise on my list. Yeah, just watching him, just super elusive, just knows where to juke at the right time. He just knows where to run, and just makes people miss. He just looks exactly like Saquon, body type, run style, just not that high end breakaway speed, which is what made Saquon so successful in the NFL. But this guy's still gonna get you those yards. Just that tough elusiveness. Bounce around, spin move, legs in the air, kind of stuff, similar to what Saquon. I'm just gonna keep saying it because they are so similar. Especially they wear the same uniform, have the same body type, and make the same moves, just not the speed. I think he's one of those guys that's going to end up dropping. Like on all these guys, I think they're pretty big names, and I think everyone kind of just fall in love with them. I think this guy is going to be just one of those dudes that falls. I don't know why, no reasoning why. Like him and Travion Williams, I see both of them like they could be there in the fifth round, like out of nowhere. You're like, that guy's still available, and boom, you take him. But I don't think you can draft like that. Sometimes shit just falls to you. But I think, like scheme wise, he's just an overall great running back. He'll fit in any system. Some of these guys, like Darrell Henderson, who I had at number 3, I think very scheme specific, and I think he just fits our scheme. But Miles Sanders is a great all around, kind of like a number 1 running back. So, with that said, we'll go to number 9. And number 9 is going to be a little bit unique. I have an interesting take, but I have L.J. Scott out of Michigan State. Now, I seem to have him higher than a lot of people, and I'll tell you why. Now, this is supposed to be for like the Ravens specific. I don't really think his style fits the Ravens scheme, but I think he's just gonna end up being one of those running backs where you're like, how did he go to the 5th round? Why did we not see this coming? But here's why. He went to Michigan State, which I believe is the same spot as Le'Veon Bell, and shocking enough, they're similar styles. That uber patient, like just wait, sit, and then boom. Like the way I describe it is super patient, but waiting for the defense to juke themselves. Like where the running back doesn't have to do any work. He's just waiting for the defense to over pursue, or sit there and wait for a hole to open. Basically just juke themselves. And it's the kind of style that I think will only get better going to the next level. And, in most positions, when you're talking about making the leap to the NFL, it's always, man, how is it going to work against the NFL? The NFL's so fast. I think with this style, it's like one of the only cases where the speed of the defense actually makes him better, because they're quicker to juke themselves, like the speed of the NFL will cause his skill set to get better. Because they're faster, they're gonna juke themselves faster. They're gonna over pursue way faster, or they're gonna make a decision quicker and mess up. A lot of the times he'll get caught behind the line, which is just the way that style it lends itself. And I don't think that's really what the Ravens need. The Ravens need someone like an attacking style. Even if it's juking, they need someone who's making moves, not just like kind of walking over, waiting for a shot and then going. Maybe it'll work, and I just never seen that combo of like an elusive quarterback and then like a really patient runner. It just doesn't seem like it seems like our style it needs to be attacking. Now, whether that be attacking with like a big dude, a speed guy, or a juke guy, like a fucking like, ooh, I'm gonna cut your legs off, just fucking shift them out of their cankles. Anyways, but I haven't seen LJ Scott in anybody's top 10. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong, but I think I'm right about this. I think he's gonna end up, not for the Ravens, but for somebody. Like watch the Steelers. They're gonna grab him, and he is gonna be the next Le'Veon Bell. Just watch. God damn it. Fuck. Serious? That's probably what's gonna happen. Damn it. Fuck. I hope. All right, Steelers fans, never mind. You heard nothing. If there's a Steeler fan listening, you heard none of that. Anyways, I'm just gonna move on to my next guy. And this guy, I was debating whether to put him in my top 10, but his 2017 tape was just so good, you have to. Bryce Love, everybody knows, big play guy, kind of like Darrell Henderson in 2017, but unlike Darrell Henderson, who continued to produce and have success, Bryce Love did not. He just wasn't as good. Apparently, he was injured, but he hurt his draft stock more than any other player by playing. Like, the dude just did not produce. He didn't put up any sort of numbers that resemble something good. But in 2017, when he had success, he's just one of those guys where he just knew how to find the hole and would take off once he found it. The big play ability, which is the style, like I said, that I think will fit the Ravens perfectly. So it was tough just because he didn't have any production in 2018. That's really tough. I mean, neither did LJ Scott. Didn't have much, but he had some. He was also dealing with injury. But Bryce Love, that style just fits us so well. And because he didn't have production, I think he's one of these guys who's gonna drop to the fifth round, past the fourth, and you're like, wait, Bryce Love is in the fifth round, and then we're gonna after the 2019 NFL season, we'll be like, why did he fall? Like, oh yeah, he did terrible in 2018. No wonder. So, I think he does kind of have like a history of injuries. So, that's my top 10 list. Some names that I just left out. Benny Snell out of Kentucky. He's kind of that classic old school bulldozing running back. I just thought we already kind of had that guy, so I didn't want to put him in the list. And then Elijah Holyfield, he's the Evander Holyfield is his kid. He's related to him somehow. So excellent DNA. Went to Georgia, so obviously great pedigree. They know how to teach running backs there. It's just he just didn't have as ton of production as like some of the other Georgia running backs did, even with like the same coaches. So, he just like missed my list. Probably it's hard, man. It's hard to make a top 10. Just tell you that right now. But I think I think my list of favorite running backs that I think would be a perfect fit, like out of this list, I think it goes Darrell Henderson. I like Damian Harris. I just like Damian Harris. I think he's gonna be a great running back. But I think the value is not going to be there for Damian Harris. I think the value for Darrell Henderson might be there, but I think someone's going to fall in love. And then I guess my number 3 guy who I'd want the Ravens to draft is Miles Sanders. Hopefully people just don't know about that guy. I just think he's a great overall running back. I think he's just going to kind of be a replacement for, what's his face? Kenneth Dixon, because Kenneth got no knees. So that's about it. Any final thoughts? Nah, that's going to be it. Debate amongst yourselves, all 5 of you. So if you got any questions, any comments, any concerns, feel free to send me an email at csrpod@gmail.com. It's spelled csrpod@gmail.com. Just if you want to, I'll answer a question, maybe on a podcast if you want me to. I'll stay in touch. I don't get any emails, so I am 100% going to answer. I'm probably not going to make a social media, so sorry if it's inconvenient for you. Let's see, what else? Ooh, if you really want to donate to the show, hit me up on Venmo. My Venmo account is at Stephen-Owings-1. That's spelled STEPHEN-OWINGS-1. So, subscribe, comment, rate, all that fun stuff. It helps. This is still the first week of me doing this, but I just want to produce content. I don't see myself slowing down for any reason. There's always news to talk about, especially Ravens related, and especially living in Albuquerque, there's not many people I can talk to, so it's kind of, this stuff's just in my head and I need to get it out. I need to, I need to talk. I'm craving some Raven. Ah! All right, that's gonna do it. Bye bye. Bye bye now.